The second change, just announced as of recording this episode, is that RØKKR have also decided to make a move. They've gone for MajorManiak leaving the team onto the bench and Standy into the squad. This is another pretty similar move. I mean, we talked about it earlier, the fact that this team, clearly the pacing has been a massive problem. And this standing into this team makes perfect sense. They need a more aggressive SMG. They need Priest supposedly going on to this kind of flex role where he's always been his best in his career. The question I raised when this team was formed, like, Priest on your sub, you're kind of wasting his talent, I think, because like his main strength is being one of the most versatile players, if not the most versatile in COD history, and yet you're relegating him to always using an SMG. Didn't seem like the way to do it. Standy comes in, attach, I suppose, is the second SMG. Questions will be raised, certainly, about the fact that it's Maniac out rather than Accuracy. Accuracy hasn't necessarily been performing the best as of late. We know there's that friendship with him and Attach. That's probably why Attach joined this team in the first place from New York last year. They certainly still want to be on a team together. And, well, they've had success in the past. But I'm not convinced that this is the same degree of move as the Thieves move, in that I don't think overnight this team is now going to become, a candidate to win a tournament again. I'm just yet to be convinced.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the positives. You got a actual can't miss prospect in Standy. He's been very consistent for 2 years now in challengers. He's very aggressive. He should be able to slot right in. He should be able to pick up the role and fly with it. And I think that's great. I think that's exactly what you were missing. I know Brian Saint has been targeting this guy. He's been talking about him since the scouting grounds. He really likes him. He's great. That is one of the pieces. You got Preston now. It kind of frees him up, whether you want him to be the second sub or the flex. I would actually rather want to see him on the second sub now that you put Standy in the entry, put Dylan in that flex role. But you free up Preston, you take a little bit off his shoulders, because right now I feel like he's been flying in all by himself. He has no one to really back him up. He's kind of just being put in the blender by himself, and when he dies, it's like the rest of the team kind of stagnates and doesn't know what to do, which is an issue. So they're addressing that. Now I'm going to kind of hit the negatives. I think this is not going to drastically improve the team to where you're winning tournaments tomorrow. I think they took out the wrong player. Even though I think Lamar is one of the best leaders in the league, I think he's a great player. I think Mike would be a top 5 main AR tomorrow if he just picked up the role and had either Preston and Dylan as his flex and then Standy in this lineup. If I told you, would you rather have Mike, Preston, Attach, and Standy, or would you rather have Accuracy, Attach, Preston, and Standy? I think most people would go towards having Mike as that main AR. And, having coached, being a part of the coaching staff that was with Mike last year, he is super vocal. He is one of those guys, just like Asa, where he's super positive. He's always trying to improve all the players. So, maybe Minnesota's taking this as like they love Accuracy's system and how he approaches the game so much that they're just going to go with him. I don't know the real ins and outs of the team. I do think that, other players on the team had an influence on what, obviously happened. But, overall, I'm kind of disappointed they went with Mike. I feel like he's just being scapegoated, on the easier side. Again, after watching his playstyle for the last 2 years, 3 years, it's completely different than what I'm watching this year. It doesn't even look like the same player, so I feel like roles just weren't working. So, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you in that boat. In terms of the pacing side of things, with Accuracy as the main AR, there's always the question, the fact that the pace between your AR and your SMGs is just so different. Whereas if Maniac's the main AR, all of a sudden that team actually works for Attach, because we talked about it earlier. Attach has been in terms of engagements, he's the slowest SMG ever. And him in a flex position makes a lot of sense, and he can be really impactful when he has a team designed around him that can help take that pressure. I think last year when New York got good, they had Matt come into the team, added a load of SMG pressure, and that's clearly what they need. But the problem is, you could argue, with Accuracy still being in the squad, is that there's just too much of a differential there. And I think Maniac deserves a go in that spot, because personally I think he's a really good player that has been great. Like last season, he was really good and overlooked, of course, because he was on FaZe with the rest of the guys. In previous seasons, he's been phenomenal as well. Like Black Ops 4, he was one of the best players in the year, to be honest. But now he's just looked like a shadow of himself, and I don't necessarily think that's down to him just having dropped off. You know, the system that he's playing under does not seem to be suited to him, and there may be a similar situation to we see in other teams where there's discussions behind the scenes on who should go, who should stay, and decisions being made as a result of that. Friendship League strikes again, one could say. So yeah, next week they play OpTic, they play Dallas. Not easy. And then the week after that, they play Seattle. So all teams that actually been looking pretty damn good. So not the easiest run.
Straight into the blender.
But yeah, I've got to say, excited to see Standy, excited to see Venom in the lineups. It's fun. I just wish there was some European talent getting their chance. We see it with London, with Zed coming in. It's nice. Only a matter of time, I think, until some of the European guys get their shot as well.